Alright, guys. Sometimes technology just doesn't work. Alright. Says a heterozygous male. And what I want you to do is take out a different color pen, and you're going to correct yourself. If you need correcting. Alright, so, heterozygous male. The fact that it says heterozygous means that both alleles are different. Both alleles are different. Alright, and mates with a pure yellow female. Pure meaning that both alleles are the same, or it's homozygous. Okay, so let's look at yellow. So pure yellow, if they're both the same, would be big Y. And heterozygous, then they must be both different, so that's big Y, little y. What is the chances this couple will produce an orange baby? So we're looking, the only way to get an orange baby is to get little y. That's the only way we're going to get that. And so the cross is a big Y, little y, with a big Y. Law of segregation says that the alleles are going to separate during meiosis or gamete production. Okay, and so the first offspring, so fertilization occurs. Here's the first offspring, fertilization occurs. Here's the second. Here's the third. And here's the fourth. The genotype ratio is that I have 2 homozygous dominants, and then I have 2 heterozygotes, and the phenotype ratio is that I have 4 yellow, and so the chances of getting an orange baby, so orange is 0. Okay, so that was the answer. Please correct yourself. Make sure that when you correct yourself, you write everything. So the cross, the Punnett square, and your genotype-phenotype ratios, all 3. That is what showing your work looks like. All right, so 2 purple-dyed aliens mate. So eyesight, see eye color, so I got purple. All right, both aliens are hybrid. So hybrid meaning they're both heterozygous. That means that their alleles are different. Okay, so big P, little p crossed with a big P, little p. What is the chance of the couple to produce a baby that is homozygous recessive? All right, so second part, I'll put those in a Punnett square. Here's the first fertilization, second, third, and last. And so my genotype ratio is that I have 1 homozygous dominant, 2 heterozygotes, and 1 homozygous recessive. And so my phenotype ratio is that I have 3 purples. Law of dominance says that the big letter wins, essentially. So when the dominant is present, it will be expressed. And so I have 3 purples and 1, what's the opposite color? White. Okay, so since I have 1 white out of the 4, and it's asking me for the homozygous recessive, homo meaning same, recessive meaning 2 letters, so that's just 1. It's just this guy right here. 1 out of 4, homo recessive, chances are at 25%, or you could have put 1/4. And so that was the answer there. Okay, so it says a heterozygous female with 3 body rings mates with a 5-ringed male. All right, so like I'm going to go back up here. So 3 body rings. She's heterozygous. So that means that she has 2 different alleles. Okay, so big R, little r. And the only way this individual could have 5 rings is to be little r homozygous recessive. So that's my step 1, and my step 2 is that I'm going to put this in a Punnett square. A law of segregation says they separate. So fertilization occurs. Here's my first chance, or my first option, second option, third option, and fourth. And so then the third step is we need to write the genotype ratios. So it looks like I've got 2 heterozygotes and then 2 homozygous recessives. So my phenotype ratio means that I've got 2 3-ring and 2 5-ring. What's the chance that the baby looks like the mother? The mother is a 3-ring body. So the chances are 2 out of 4, 1/2, or 50%, whichever one makes you happy. Okay, so 3-ring chance is equal to 50%. I'm going to put 50%. If you put 1/2, that's fine. A pure alien displaying dominant body color mates with a female. So pure dominant, so homozygous dominant, mates with a female that is homozygous recessive for the characteristic. What is the chance that this couple will have a hybrid genotype? Okay, so it says body color. So let me go up to body color. I'm going to go body color right here. Pure alien dominant. So pure meaning homozygous, that's that yellow. Big Y. So he's this. And she's homo recessive. So pure homo recessive. So she is this. Okay, law of segregation says they separate, and then here are the options for offspring so that the genotype ratio is all big Y, little y, and the phenotype is all yellow, for yellow. So what are the chances that they'll get a hybrid? Hybrid meaning heterozygous. And so the chances of hybrid is equal to 100% because all of the babies are heterozygous. Please correct yourself. Alright, so I have a male alien with 1 antenna. Mates with a female that has 2 antennae. The female is a heterozygote. Okay, so let's figure that out. So number of antennae. Okay, so using the letter A, and the male has 1 antenna. So the only way the male can have 1 antenna is if he's homozygous recessive, because that is the recessive trait. And the female, it says that she is heterozygous. And so the question is, what's the chance that the couple will produce a baby that is recessive, has a recessive phenotype? So homozygous recessive. So I'm going to do my Punnett square. Law of segregation says they separate here. Separate. Then we're going to fertilize. Here's baby option 1, baby option 2, 3, and 4. Genotype ratio is that I've got 2 of the heterozygotes or hybrids and 2 of the homozygous recessives. Phenotype ratio is that I have 2 with 2 antennae. Let me spell that right. And then 2 with 1 antenna. All right, cool. So what are the chances? So chances for 1 antennae is equal to 50%. Yes, sir. Yeah. All right, so an alien couple both wear glasses and have a baby. The male's genotype is heterozygous, so wearing glasses. Let's look at our chart. Glasses needed, so using the letter E. So that's the male. The female is phenotypically dominant, but does carry the recessive. So phenotypically she is dominant, but carries the recessive. And so what that means is that she is too a heterozygote. What are the chances that this baby will have to wear glasses? So there's my cross. It's a typical heterozygous cross. That homozygous dominant, heterozygous, heterozygous, and homozygous recessive. Okay, so that my genotype ratio is 1 homozygous dominant, 2 heterozygotes, and 1 homozygous recessive. And so that my phenotype is that I've got 3 that need glasses, and then 1 that does not, sorry. Okay, so what are the chances that the baby will have to wear glasses? The chances are 3 out of 4. Or 75%. Check your work. Remember, you have to show all work. You can't just write the answers. Alright, so a 3-ring female mates with a homozygous male. We don't know if that's homozygous dominant or recessive. The female has been genetically tested to carry both dominant. And is carrying the both dominant and both the dominant and the recessive. Sorry. So she's a heterozygote. She has both dominant and recessive. So I'm going to go here to body rings, and so that's the letter R. So the female is this. And so for this trait, the male displays only the recessive. And so if he only displays the recessive, that is the only possible genotype he can have. The question is, what's the chance that the couple will have genetically pure baby? In other words, a homozygous. Now, it doesn't ask me for a homozygous dominant or homozygous recessive. It just says homozygous or pure. And so law of segregation says they separate. Okay, so those are the first 2 chances, and then here are the second. So the genotype ratio is 2 heterozygotes and 2 homozygous recessives. So the phenotypes is that I get 2 that have 3 rings, and then 2 that have 5 rings. And so what is the chances of having a homozygous? Well, these 2 are the only homozygous, and so homozygous or pure, chances are 50%. Alright, so please turn in your corrections. So I should see 2 submissions, the first chance and the second chance.